Bags down, spikes on. Welcome to the track. Hi, my name is Colin Weitzman, and I'm going to be your host for this episode of Track World News, presented by Track Barn. And today we have a very special guest joining us, our first coming out of college national champion that is going to be joining us today. He is now a two-time champion, winning first in 2019. He is also your U18 world champion back in 2015, coming in with a PR in the shot put of 21.74 meters. Trip Pippery. Trip, thanks for joining us, man. Really appreciate it.
Before we go any further, I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Manscaped. As track athletes, we're going to be running tons of miles every week and can be really sweaty and gross after a hard day of practice, but those days are behind us. Manscaped just sent me their brand new performance package, which comes with the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold all your goodies. Look, I've tried a lot of razors in my day, but the Lawnmower 4.0 is just different. Its ceramic blade helps reduce grooming accidents, LED light allows you to shave anytime, anywhere, and since it's waterproof, you can even take it in the shower if you want. When shopping with Manscaped, use code TWN at checkout to get 20% off your entire order, plus free shipping worldwide. Show up to your next meet looking good. If you want to be the best, you gotta look the best. Link is in the description, and now back to the video.
Thanks for having me, man.
Of course. I know we've been looking to do this for some time now, so excited to get things rolling for you. Before we get to some of the on the track stuff, I got some questions for you off the track. And so one of my favorite series, and I'm glad we got some good content here. I looked back at some of your old tweets, and I got some questions for you. Nothing too crazy, but I want some answers for what was going on in these Twitter back in the day. So first, this was May 11th, 2016. You tweeted out that somebody stole my toboggan. Do you remember what happened? Did you find out where the toboggan went and what was going on there back in 2016?
I'm pretty sure I just tweeted that for the hell of it, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even Twitter that much now. I doubt I used it that much then. I probably use it more then than I do now, but yeah, that was just random.
So there was no toboggan stolen ever. Man, geez, absolute menace. Next one, you wrote out occupation, Cali Muscle's bodyguard. This was September 24th, 2015. For those that don't know who Cali Muscle is, could you share a little bit about who this interesting human being is for the people?
That's the guy who just like insane. He's a lifter. I'm pretty sure he's juiced up entirely. Was there a picture on that?
No picture associated.
I don't think so. What that is.
Yeah. So yeah, he's one of the massive human beings. I think he's
enormous.
Muscle on muscle. And then got some fan questions for you here. So first one, this comes from Jambari. He says, who would win? 3 silverback gorillas or 3 lions? I'm guessing in a fight. So who would you have and why?
That's a challenging one. I'd have to say silverback gorillas. I just feel like the inevitable use of their arms will help them a lot more than just the lions coming at them with their head, basically.
Okay. The strength is in the smarts. What was that?
Yeah. I just feel like the use of their arms gives them the advantage.
I feel you with that. Yeah, that's like we have a similar debate with that in my office of
really
that gorilla. Yeah. So I was like, oh, I'm glad that somebody asked this because I'm with you there. I think the gorillas are too strong. There's no way that the lions are taking them down. So
yeah,
I'm with you there. Next one we have. This is from Jersman Throws. He says, what do you think when you're entering from the back of the ring for the shot put?
Oh, that's interesting. So it really depends. The serious answer is most of the time I'm building the throw in my head. I'm very visual, like when I'm doing that. And then, I mean, other than the basic, I want to kill everyone that is in this ring as well. or stepping in that ring that day as well. It's basically just building the throw in my head and trying to basically nail down everything I'm about to go through and make sure that I have the throw built up mentally in my head, and then also just trying to get amped up more than I already am.
Awesome. And we can all see that right after your throws, and we'll get into that in a second for sure. And then last one for you, one of the fan questions was, do you get nervous before meets?
Every time, yeah. If you're not getting nervous, you probably shouldn't be there. Like, if you're obviously not that, bought into it. I mean, some people don't, and everybody's their own person. But I know me, if I'm not nervous, then it's just like, oh, I'm just here.
What's like the most nervous you've gotten in a meet that I guess maybe that you can think of recently?
So I know the absolute hands down most nervous I've ever been was in World Youth when I was in Cali, because that was kind of the first time I'd been on that big of a stage. And literally a day before, I was just locked in, like listening to music, just breathing heavy, just staring off into space, like what's going on. And then I think the day of, it was interesting. It's kind of like so if you see me before meets now, people say I look terrifying just because like when I'm warming up and stuff. I've been told that. I don't know. Some people probably think that's stupid, but hey. But I think it's kind of just a precursor to what it is now. I get nervous before every big meet. I'm really nervous before regionals because I'm always like, okay, what if I scratch out or something here? But definitely, Cali, Columbia, 2015, that was nuts. That was just like, I made it here. I've got USA gear. I'm young. Like, this is really cool. But if I don't do good, what does it mean? So I ended up winning and had a great time. But yeah, that would be the most. Other than that, then this year regionals would be the most recent one that I was really nervous at.
Why this year at regionals? Was there any reason in particular where you were kind of feeling it this year?
Just because it's normally every regionals I am a little nervous. Typically it's just because especially this year is if I don't do well here and I don't make it through, then I don't really know what's happening to me. But I locked in, I got it done. I did what I needed to do. But it's typically just what happens if I don't make it? Because everybody expects me to make it. I know I expect myself more than everyone to make it. So it's kind of just that kind of whole dilemma. If that makes sense.
No, get it for sure. And so let's start with what was going on recently. So obviously you're just getting back home from pretty massive meet in Eugene. You've now won your second national championship, one in 2019, now here in 2022. Could you kind of take us through what that feeling was like, when you heard that you were the official champion of the 2022 shot put here in Eugene?
Relief. Okay, good. Finally got back to where I need to be. Sweet.
Yeah.
Because in 2020, COVID happened. We were literally at indoors. This is the most annoying thing in the world, by the way. We were at indoors and they canceled it. We had warmed up with everyone there. It was like, why not just host it, have it? Because everybody's already breathed everyone else's air. That was stupid. But so that whole year is bust. Last year, week before indoors, I toured. So if you guys know anything about football or Alabama football, I had the same thing happen to my ankle that happened to Tua twice. So I had a high ankle sprain. I tore those ligaments between my tibia and fibia. And I ended up competing there. It's terribly painful. And, last year was kind of I was dealing with that the whole year. I came back literally a week before conference and ended up making outdoors and got second, which is great. I was very proud of myself. I was able to compete at trials and do what I could do. But I mean, that whole year last year was like, okay, before I got hurt, it was like, this is the year I know I can make the team or the Olympic team if I am on it. And then second I fell, I was like, great, cool, just scrap. So this year, finally coming back and winning again, indoors, I competed well. I lost. It is what it is. But outdoors, being able to kind of reclaim that title and come back from that injury was relieving, and it was nice. It's nice to say. It just feels good. It feels like, okay, I'm back to where I need to be, and now I can move on, to USA's and hopefully make this world team.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it briefly there, you've had, going back and forth. I mean, something that from my perspective that's been really cool has been the little rivalry. I don't know if it's how it is for you guys, but the back and forth between you and Turner over the last few years, where it seems like, two of the guys at the top of the throwing game right now. What's it kind of like, going back and forth, you two, who are at such an elite level in the college throws?
You know, it's been a fun time. It's always fun to have somebody compete like that. Unfortunately, Jordan redshirted this outdoor year, and it's been really cool to see what he would have done in the mix. But it's always been really cool going against him, and I've always appreciated. He's a great competitor. He's somebody that I know can always throw far no matter what. He's not somebody that there are some people that I know if I throw far, it's going to get in their heads. I don't have to worry about it. He's not one of those people. So it's always really fun to go and actually compete with him.
Yeah, he's shown, I think it was on the indoors last year or whatever. It was I think his last throw was the national record. So it's like, oh yeah, this guy, he's got that championship mentality or the ability to do it. And so
he matters. So I know that if he's there, it's going to be a challenge no matter what.
For sure. And so could you kind of take us into what was going into this championship outdoors? I mean, for those that maybe haven't been to Eugene, I know a lot of people, know it as the, one of the meccas for track and field, one of the big places. Like, what's it kind of like, preparing and getting ready and then, going and competing at the national championship there?
It's always, that stadium is pretty impressive. It's massive. It's beautiful. It's brand new. And it always reminds me of when I've gone and been lucky enough to go overseas. It kind of reminds me of those stadiums. So going there, it's kind of it's almost in a way daunting. You go there and it's like, oh crap, there's this massive new stadium. I've also been blessed enough to be able to compete at the old one. That was a cool thing too. But I mean, I think the biggest difference from competing there to other places, at least in the U.S., is a lot of the fans there are from there and they really care about track. So it's kind of cool going in there and you have a good fan base there. Can't take that away from them. But at the end of the day, it's just another ring. If you got to simple it down every single time. It's another track, it's another place to compete, it's another chance to throw farther. So that's kind of how I.
One thing that, at least from the media standpoint, we've heard rumors of the ring being really slick. That was really fast. I mean, you've now thrown there before. Is there any truth to that? That it's it's a fast ring and you got to be a little careful when you're at Eugene.
It depends on the weather that day. When it's dry, especially this year, it was a good ring. When it was dry, when we were just there, it was great. I liked throwing in it. I threw in it when it was wet last year, and it was fast. But at the end of the day, you can't do anything about that. So I think how some of the people there have handled it is a little unprofessional. But in terms of when you're at the meet and you have to kind of deal with it everyone else is dealing with, you kind of just got to take it for what it is. But it is a fast ring when it's wet. But now that it's dry, I don't know if they acid washed it again. I know that somebody said they did or whatever. But right now when it's dry, I've only thrown it dry this year. It's felt great. It's a good ring. I like it.
Yeah, I would too if I won if I won there.
In all seriousness, it's a good ring when it's so far as dry. But again, I haven't thrown it as wet since last year. I'm pretty sure they've updated it or in some way, shape, or form since then. But it was dry at nationals. It felt great.
Perfect. There you go. Yeah. Well, something that all fans would notice, or you don't even have to watch. You can probably hear it from you at any track meet from across the track. Are the celebrations after the throw. I was talking to one of my friends and he was like, yeah, you would think that Tripp PRs every single throw based off of the screams that you're seeing. Where'd that kind of come from and, the energy you're getting, post throws?
When I was younger, so I've been throwing, fun fact, since I was 8, which is a whole story itself. I don't have to go in that. But my dad would always be like, you got to grunt. Because he used to he's the one who kind of got me into it. So I do it when I was younger. And then in high school, I don't remember if I did it that much. I don't think I did. I think maybe I did just initially off the throw. But when I got to college, it kind of just was kind of want attention. And not even in not even in a point like that. I'm not afraid to say that. Yeah, I like the attention when I get, everybody into it. It gets the crowd active. But even now, now I have to do this professionally and I have to do this for money. I got to set myself apart some way. Because, there's a lot of people throwing far right now and I'd like to be up there, but, currently I'm not up there. So I'm trying to get up there, but, I've got a good fan base now just because of that. And it's fun. It makes it fun. I enjoy doing it. When I have a good throw, I like kind of getting in everyone's face and, showing everybody who I am. So it's fun.
Oh yeah. I've seen, I was looking back earlier on one of the videos. I think it might've been from Big 12s. And it was you threw it and then you're walking back to I think it might've been with your injury year. And you you came back and you're yelling like, and, like
Yeah.
everyone's like looking at you like, oh God, Trip's back. This isn't great.
Yeah, that was fun because so if that was last year, then that meet was so I had literally not thrown a shot put until the Tuesday before that meet since my injury. Like I'd gotten off crutches the week before, and like I had kind of just learned how to redo everything. So that was just kind of like, I think I only took 2 or 3 throws in that meet, but that was just exhilarating. Like it was great, amazing to finally be back and be able to like compete at least somewhat close to what I had been at.
Yeah, that had to be pure adrenaline.
Yeah. Because it hurt. It's like all those post-surgery throws last year were incredibly painful. Like that whole time was not fun.
I could imagine.
Like it was not a good time doing all that, but I mean, it was cool. I had to prove a point. So
was it the foot that you like kind of land on or stand on at the end, or was it the one that flies off the pivot foot? I'm not sure.
So it was my right leg, and so as I'm rotating, it's the one I'm pushing off of at the end of the throw, and then I do land on it. So it was a freak. I don't know if you've seen the video. You can go on my
I try not to watch it anymore.
Yeah, but I fall over the toe board and my foot gets caught behind me, and I just fell back on it. It was just weird. Like I couldn't do it. Like that. It just happened. It sucked. But it was my right against the one I pushed off at the end of the throw.
I know, like, so I was a vaulter, and I had a back injury from, planting the pole when I was in high school. Yeah. And I know there was a mental block for me of just being hesitant of going up again, because I was like, I don't want to screw it up again. Like, was there any hesitation for you when you're getting back into it? Like, I don't want this to happen again.
Oh yeah. So indoors actually was kind of the biggest issues I had. So indoors, I hadn't had surgery yet. At the time, I actually thought it was a lateral sprain. I didn't think it was a high ankle sprain. Just from all the tests we've done and all that, which is weird. But I remember like I hadn't literally thrown whatsoever since my injury up until the day that I threw. So the day before we were trying to do steps, and my trainer was just like, this is going to hurt really bad regardless. So she basically kind of just told me like, your brain, this is going to sound kind of weird. I hate saying it, but your brain's like really powerful. If you tell yourself to do something and you're strong enough willed about it, you're going to do it. Like, if you hesitate, you're going to hesitate. It's going to hurt. But if you tell yourself to do it, you do it properly, it won't be as bad, and you'll actually be able to perform the task that you're trying to do. So I kind of just got myself in that mentality. So before surgery, I'd already kind of tackled that, if that makes sense. But afterwards, I did it in a non-reverse drill is how I got injured. I didn't do one of those until this fall again.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
I could only imagine just, you have to have that mental fortitude of being like, okay, last time I was here, things went really bad. We're going to do it again.
It sucks. It was like, oh my God. It was really just the first day we came back. I was like, well, this is probably not going to feel good. And it's probably going to be a really shitty time, basically. So I kind of was just like, I got to get through it. It was really day by day. I mean, even before that, I was in, doing rehab stuff with my trainers, 4 hours a day. So every day was just like getting up and making sure to be like, okay, well, got to keep going.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
So talking about indoor track, so going back to this past indoor track, you actually, your younger brother is on the team, Patrick, and something pretty cool that I saw that you guys actually went 1-2 at Big 12s. What's that like? One, having your younger brother be a part of the team, being along with you, and then, being able to go 1-2 at Big 12s there.
Well, I mean, so there's probably a few people with siblings on the team. I know the Allens at USC are kind of a similar situation. It's really cool having your brother on the team. It is. He actually lives in this apartment with me. He's not here right now, but it's nice having, somebody there all the time. But being able to go 1-2 at conference, that was sick. It wasn't expected at all. I think he was supposed to get like 6th or 7th, and he popped off, and I do what I do. So it was, it was really cool. That picture that I have of us on the podium is something I'm always going to have. I'm probably going to frame it. So it was a really just awesome moment that, not a lot of people get to experience.
Was there any nervousness on where he might have committed? I know you were in Texas. I know that he was, obviously he's very talented. Were you always kind of like, nah, he's gonna come here? Was any hesitation?
No, I thought he was gonna go somewhere else actually. I'd tried to tell. So before Coach Sion got here my freshman year, I was like, just go where you want to go, do what you want to do. Coach Sion got here and that kind of switched up. I was like, okay, you should come here. Like, that whole kind of, fall, I was trying to sell him on it, and he ended up coming here. He told me before, he actually messed with me, him and my teammate at the time, Bobby. They're like, yeah, he's not going here. And I was like, oh, it sucks. They call me, and then he comes here and he goes, oh, yeah, I committed. I was like, why? Why'd you do that? That was funny. Yeah, but, I was stressed about it. I'm not going to lie. And I think he knew that too. But I'm glad he's here. I think he's happy with his decision. And, I think he has 2 more years of eligibility. So, hopefully he can get up on that national podium like I have by the end of it.
Yeah, you're mentioning, with coaches, I believe she still trains there, but Valerie Allman with discus. Yeah. So obviously Valerie Allman, Olympic champion, in the discus. What's it like having someone that in a training group with you that is so talented and, obviously has won on the biggest stage there?
It's great. I think the best way to put it is, especially in my position where she's been everywhere I've been. Like she's been in the position right where I am right now, where there's a lot of uncertainty. I don't know how much I'm gonna be making, all that fun stuff with going pro when you're, younger. Well, not when you're younger, but, like in those early stages. It's been a nice, I guess, in a way, a resource, being able to ask her questions and get her advice. But also just having her there and seeing how she trains, how she competes, and how seriously she takes everything. I think that's almost just as important because, now I've got something to go off of like, she's doing it this way. This is how much success she's had. So now I'm able to kind of be like, this is how I need to be taking, every single day, every single step, every single, practice, lift, everything we do. It's nice to have her there because she's a great role model and she's a good friend and all that stuff. So it's awesome having her here.
Have you taking any notes and thinking about doing any discus at all on the pro circuit? Looking at what it is, or are we sticking a shot?
No. I'm done with that. My discus days are over.
There we go.
Asking me to throw discus, go to hell.
It's done. Is there, you just don't like it, or is it like, it's not your thing?
It was cool in high school and I was good at it. I'm not good at it anymore. This is how it is. But I think when I got to college, my freshman year, I didn't train for it as much. And then since then, it's just kind of died off. Mm-hmm. I just stopped enjoying it as much, to be honest. But to everybody throws this, is like Claudio, Lekna, Sean, my teammate, all of them, they do great. And they love it. I love watching it. I love watching all track events, to be honest. But, it's not for me. I like to throw shot put.
Yeah, Texas shot put has some pretty esteemed history there. I think you're pretty close with Ryan Krauser, one of the greatest shot putters of all time. Like, what's it? Do you guys connect very often? And what's that kind of relationship like?
So I don't message him that much. I'd say I really don't, to be honest. But when I see him at meets, I always say hello. He's always very friendly or cordial. He actually threw my shot at trials last year. Yeah, all that. He's a good dude. I talk to him when I see him at meets. He's always, helpful if I have any questions. And I'm sure now it'll be a little different just because now I'm his competition. But if he sees it that way. But yeah, he's always friendly and he's always been nice and yeah, he's cool. But I wouldn't say we're not I'm not on the phone with him daily, and I don't know if that'll ever be like that.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's going to be as of now. Yeah, now it's all right. We're going head to head or against each other. Yeah, so might be a little different. There's something that was really cool. There's a good picture from indoors last year when you guys won the national championship of just a photo of you just going insane, really celebrating with your team when you guys ended up finding out that you had won. What was that like, being able to bring a team championship to Texas there indoors?
Texas track and field men's had never won a team championship, so that was insane. We went into that meet, I'm pretty sure we were ranked 6th by NCAA or whatever. We were expecting to get 6th by all the people that said it, and that alone was, I think after the first day when our DMR won, we were all kind of talking. Everyone was like, okay, we can win this. And I was like, guys, just do what you do. Stop thinking about it. But when the 4x4 happened, because I was, A&T is great. They have, Randolph Ross, their 4x4 is always insane. So that I was stressed watching that race. And then, you know, as the legs went by and I kept seeing, you know, Brian, John, Willington, and Jonathan kind of just do what they do and handle business. It was awesome. We kind of knew we just needed them to finish the race at that point. It was great.
Yeah, it was an insane thing. It's, you know, being able to be coming in, not projected to win by pretty much everyone or most people, you know, and then being able to upset that had to be, you know, an awesome feeling.
Yeah, there's really nothing like it. That team win is, I'm always going to remember that. I've got a picture. I literally have a picture of it in the back of my phone, just like me with the trophy. Like, I'm not going to forget that. I mean, when I first got to Texas, I think we got like 30th at outdoors, and we hadn't been top 10, I think, yet until this year. So it was cool.
And so you mentioned a little bit ago, you know, you're now turning into the pro circuit. You know, you got, you know, what's that process been like? I know it's obviously really early on and pretty fresh, but what's that kind of look like for you the next little while here as you know, make that next chapter in your life here?
You know, it's stressful. I don't know if you know anything about track money, but field events especially don't really get paid like that. So I gotta, you know, be one of the best to really, you know, live comfortably or live how I'd want to. So I'm motivated as hell. But early stages, I just signed with an agent yesterday. Her name's Karen Locke. She's great. She's been very helpful so far. I've been talking to a lot of people, been, you know, applying for grants and stuff. So we'll see how that all goes. But in terms of like moving forward with you know, shoe deals and stuff, got to see how I do at USA's. That's kind of how that goes. Got to figure that out first. And we'll you know, the ball will get rolling after USA's.
When is when do you throw? Like, which day of USA's do you know what that's going to look like? Friday?
Could be wrong. I'm pretty bad at knowing when I throw.
Yeah, when you'll show up there and they'll let you know.
If you ask me the time, I'm not going to know. I do not know what time I throw.
No, that's it's all. We'll find out as we get a little closer there. That's all good. Yeah. And so for here, you know, there's going to be a lot of you know, high schoolers and athletes that are kind of just starting to develop and, you know, get ready into their next stages of their careers. Like, you know, when you look back at, you know, where you were, you know, when you were just getting started in throwing, what were some maybe pieces of advice or things you wish you had known, you know, as you were starting your throwing career?
Definitely just have fun. Like, don't stress out about it too much. If you're not having fun with it, it's not worth it. That goes for me now. Like, if I didn't enjoy this, I wouldn't do this. You serious? Like college, like how much time I've put into this through college and stuff. Like, you know, if you're not having fun with it, why are you doing it? So I'd make sure you enjoy it. Depending on what part of your life you're in or what part of, you know, how long you've been throwing, all that, trust your coach, depending on if you have a good coach or not. Like, you know what I mean by that. But, you know, trust your coach, trust your trainers, trust whoever you find someone or something to trust to guide you to where you want to be. And if you can't trust it or you don't trust it, move to something else.
And you mentioned, hey, if you didn't love it so much, you wouldn't keep doing this. If you were not a thrower, what do you think you would be doing nowadays if you weren't continuing and being a professional thrower?
You talking about, so like if I rewrote my life and picked a different sport, or like,
no, like, yeah, if let's say like, hey, you're like, hey, we're done with shot put, you know, like, I don't know, would you know, what kind of job would you want to have if you didn't want to be a pro athlete?
Ooh, that's a good question. I like the idea of corporate sales and management, so I'd probably go into something along those fields. I mean, I've had backup plans set up, so I like to know kind of what I would do. Mm-hmm. Be something in that field.
Yeah, something that I've seen you've talked about a little bit briefly in the past has been just I don't know if you'd say like the business side of track and field, or just the kind of, you know, giving people, you know, getting the respect that kind of track has to have. Like, what do you see as, you know, the potential for, you know, how we could improve our sport? I know a lot of people, you know, see there's some improvements being needed. I didn't know if there was anything that you saw.
I don't ever want to like talk bad about anyone or anything or how they do, but I think a big thing that we could do as a sport, especially in America, is we can market it different. I think just because of, you know, the top sports that are watched and followed in America are all team sports, they try to, you know, market track and field as a team sport, and you can't really do that. I think a good way to kind of, so I think a good avenue that like somebody could take, or like USATF or whoever, you know, whoever marks it, ESPN or something, they could like kind of market it more like UFC, where it's individual and it's kind of more neck and neck, head and head, or head to head stuff. I think that'd be kind of cool to almost see like if they had like a press conference before the day before the race, the competition, like having all the athletes there together and see what they said to each other. I think it'd be something cool, make it more interesting.
Yeah, I've always loved the USC model for what track and field could be, because I think there's a way that, I mean, they do it really well. they're a massive company. Like, why does this sport that's kind of similar, do a similar thing there?
But if I had, like, it's kind of just like, I think right now they're trying to follow the model that works for team sports, and I just don't think that's going to work for us, especially because, following track and field in a team aspect is challenging. A lot of people, if you're just watching TV, you don't know anything about track, you're not going to be able to follow the team scores. Yeah,
there's a ton of events, and to be able to say, the guy that was long jumping, he affects the way that the person that's doing the 100 would affects it's like, oh wait, what's going on? It can be a lot. No, yeah, I see.
You're not gonna be able to follow that unless you know track and field. So it's kind of like, if they could find a way to, I just think if they could market it in a different way, it'd work out a lot. And I think, right now I feel like some of the bigger sports are kind of having a little bit of fall off, especially professionally. We have an opportunity here to kind of get more popular in the United States.
Awesome. Well, I'm keeping our fingers crossed. My fingers crossed here too. We do get to that and being able to improve it, day by day. But Trip, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate you taking the time to share with us, the national championship and your story, how you got here. Where can people go if they wanted to learn a little bit more about you, and follow your journey along?
Just follow my Instagram. My handle is PipTrippery44. It's like PIPTRIPERI and 44. There's no spaces or caps. I post a lot of my story. I always post how I compete, how I do at meets. And sometimes I, ask me questions. I'm probably going to start doing lives and stuff. And then also I'm probably going to start streaming on Twitch and stuff like that. So everything you want to follow me, follow what I do. I always announce on my story and stuff. So just follow me on Instagram and, yeah.
Nice. What games could we see on Twitch potentially?
Ooh, anything y'all want. Just send me messages, send me ideas. I got to set it all up first and all that. And then, I got to get a schedule. So likely anything newer, like something like that, or I mentioned at some point I might start doing something on TikTok just to do something on TikTok. But that probably won't start until close to the end of the season, or at least after, USA's and Worlds, just because I'm very busy right now and got to focus on that. But
for sure.
From there, if you want to follow me, that's the best way to do it right now.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Trip. Really appreciate it. And thank you to everyone who's been listening. This has been another episode of Track World News. If you want more content, go and follow us over on Instagram and at Track World News. We post content almost daily there. And then give us a subscribe on YouTube here at Track World News. That's going to do it for us. Have a good one. Peace.